Alright, what's up guys? How's it going? How's the new year? Treating everyone? Everything good? Everything well? Right, let's get to the crux of the matter. Here we have the two figures that I bought prior to the New Year celebration.
Batman and Deathstroke.
That's right, from McFarlane. We are used to seeing me review Marvel Legends most of the time, but I'm kind of running out of things to buy for Marvel Legends. Then all of a sudden, the McFarlane stuff, the older waves, I suppose.
If you want to know what's our first McFarlane toy review, it was The Flash, and go check it out.
Yes, exactly. That's right. You're right on cue. Anyway, we decided to further expand that universe because the DC comics is bare bones with only Flash to show off. So what better way than to include Batman, Deathstroke, and then there was the Superman from the Action Comics 1000, which looks the part. So as you guys know from my previous review, I always go for the figures that actually looks the part in terms of how it's represented in its sort of core design, or whatever. I mean, Deathstroke is an exception because he's from the Gameverse, but we'll get into that later. So what we have here, we have the DC Multiverse Batman from the DC Rebirth line, Detective Comics number 1000. Now, obviously he is from a much older wave. I decided to do both of these figures in one go because this is an old figure. I think pretty much most reviews are out there, but hey, I can only do my reviews as and when I get them. So
we have the artwork at the back.
Exactly. So you have as typical McFarlane. McFarlane boxes are pretty, well, I would say basic, rudimentary in a sense that you have the artwork from where the figure gets inspired.
And other characters.
Other characters, yes, exactly. Or other, I suppose, cover pages or whatnot.
There's a Nightwing.
Nightwing and I forgot this guy's name.
Wait.
Do you know this guy?
Batman. It's Batman something.
Okay. Thank you. Anyways, some gumph about McFarlane. Each figure comes separately and all that. A window display, an indication of the figure. Batman, Detective Comics 1000, etc., etc. Similarly, Deathstroke, you have all the usual stuff. Batman, Arkham Asylum, obviously Arkham Origins. Sorry.
Yeah.
And this one is inspired by the Gameverse version of Deathstroke. So the only reason I got him is he kind of looks cool. So that's the only reason I need, I think. So anyway, let's open them up, right, unbox in front of our viewers and see what we get right out of the box. Okay? Right, when you take Batman out of the box, what you get is the usual fanfare in terms of the figure itself. Now I have to say, when it comes to Batman, this is my preferred look, the black and grey. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Because there's the blue version and kind of like weird looking cape and all that, but I think this bat logo along with that grey costume, it just works for me. I think this is the reason. I mean, this is my Batman in all its glory.
It comes with that we call Batman something was called Batman HELL Batsuit.
Oh, Hellbat, yes, that's right. Sorry. Yeah, so my son was referring to the picture when I asked him.
Batman with the black armor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry, forgot about that. Anyway, coming back to this figure, so you have the Batman figure, you have the grapple gun. What else is that? Very, very thick Batarang. Now I also make it a point to look into what comes as accessories or at least the background.
Background is like some comics.
So the background is as usual like many other. Even if you get it in Marvel Legends, you get like a comic strip of or sometimes the logo of the character, which you can use it as, I suppose, the backdrop for the figure. But I don't know, maybe not in my case. I suppose you have the McFarlane stand. The only problem with the background here is that you would have to destroy them if you want to take out this stuff, which is a shame, but there you go. That's where it stands at the moment. So let's try to take it all out and put them all together and see what the Batman is all about. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, the boy is out of the box, and as you can see here, Batman is all his glory. So let's look for some quality control checks to see whether it's all well and good in terms of
camera. Batman is blue.
Yeah, I kind of think actually, trust me guys, it's actually black and grey, but I think maybe my camera doesn't do any justice to it. It has sort of like a blue sort of tinge of blue to it, but no, it is black and grey. Anyway, not much of an issue apart from this tiny dot here, but yes, I suppose it's forgivable. The cape itself is not necessarily hard plastic. It is bendable, and it, I suppose, gets out of the way because it's draped over his shoulder, but it does move out of the way, so that's pretty good. Yeah, quality wise, I just love these colors. This combination of black and gray is pretty good, and what I expect from Batman. There's a little bit of warping in terms of his this thing here. I don't know what you call this thing. Anyway, spikes. Yeah, I suppose. But nothing. Some hot water can't. I suppose solve. Yeah. Anything? This back? No, pretty good. I think it's all okay except for that tiny sort of dot. Everything else seems okay. Don't see any paint flaws as such, so pretty good. So that's the figure itself. He does come with accessories, which is this Grapnel launcher, which is the launcher and the effect of the thing going out. However, it is not a separate piece, it's all one single
I tried hanging it on something and it actually works.
Yeah, apparently he does that. So it would have been nice just to have the launcher as a standalone and this like a separate piece. So that you use them when you want to show a sort of action pose, or if it's just standing there looking all menacing, you can have that, I suppose. Well, anyway, the one thing I noticed also is the Batarang, which seems like a Batarang from God knows who's gonna use this. I mean, it is as thick as this is not gonna cause any like piercing. If anything, it's gonna bludgeon someone to death. Look at this, just the sheer thickness of it all. Well, anyway, I mean, the shape is nice. It's just that I think it's too thick. And as usual, you have the stand, the McFarlane stand. I used to ridicule the stand because I don't really like my figures posed with the stand, but sometimes you do need them to get them because these figures are slightly larger than the usual.
So they fall.
Yeah, exactly, and the proportions are sometimes off balance.
That's why they gave a base.
Yeah, exactly. If you really want some dynamic poses, this stand actually helps. So I've come to appreciate them even more. And it's just a standard stand with a what do you call DC logo and a peg that fits into his either one of his feet. So that's pretty good. Now look at the card. Now some of the best things about the McFarlane figures is that they come with this sort of comic card data file, they call it. It is quite a thick piece. You can see the thickness of it all, and it has fantastic artwork from
Riddler,
where they take
Killer Croc, Joker.
Exactly where they take the inspiration from, which is Detective Comics number 1000. And at the back, which they have some profile of the real names of Bruce Wayne, height being
his real name, his height, and his weight.
Exactly, and the story that says what?
As a child, Bruce Wayne watched as his parents were brutally killed in Gotham City's crime alley. Traumatized by their death, he devoted his life to become the world's greatest weapon against crime, the Batman. To become the ultimate vigilante, the Dark Knight disciplined his mind and body to reach the pinnacle of mental and physical superiority. He is a master detective and an expert martial artist, but his greatest weapon is his mind. Batman has a plan for every occasion, as well as high-tech weapons, gadgets, and vehicles to assist him in his relentless pursuit of justice. Wow! If that doesn't take you to watch a movie of Batman, I don't know what. Anyways, so there you go. That's the artwork. I think this artwork is worth collecting. Don't you agree? You put in like a card holder. Yeah. So there you go. So let's try to put them all together, articulate them in the next video, and see whether it's worth the effort. Then we go on to Deathstroke. Okay. Let's look at some indication of what we're expecting from an articulation point of view from the Batman himself. So he can kind of look up, not my batch I suppose, and you have to hold his head, otherwise it has a springy effect. He can look down, again not by much, nothing. He can look left, he can look right, he can look all the way around. What else? He has the bicep swivel, although yeah, it can be, it's all well and good. Can he stretch full 180? Yes he can. Can he go forward 100? Yeah, fantastic. Double jointed elbow that allows nice bend. Yeah, it has a ball joint which allows, and a hinge, so that the inward and outward is all well and good. Now the one thing, there's no butterfly as such, or it gives the impression of a sort of a butterfly thingy, which allows his hand to go in front by some amount, but not a lot, because his chest plate does get in the way. He has a diaphragm cut, but as like many of the
McFarlane figures, it seems to be much lower than what it is. If had it been like just about lower in the chest area there, he would have had a nicer band, but as it stands, it's sort of somewhere like in the middle of nowhere, and that allows a band for that much, which I suppose isn't bad, but isn't all that great. And likewise, the backward stretch by that much, again, not particularly bad, but nothing particularly interesting. He has that waist swivel. Anyway, yep. No thigh cut, but
a split.
You can swivel by that much. Only thing is, it will expose some areas you don't want really to see. Let's see. Double jointed knee that allows the bend of the knee to by that much. No particular cut in the shin.
Yeah.
Nice ankle joint that allows feet to go up that much, down by that much. There is a toe cut. Is there swivel? I think there should be. No. No, is there? Oh yeah, there you go. So
There it is.
that's good.
What about his split?
Yeah, let's do the kick first. Kicky, because he's known for his martial arts.
It says on the card.
That's all it's gonna go. At the back, it's gonna go by that much, nothing more, because his butt get in the way. Of course, McFarlane have the split, because you can just about see the hinge right there that allows a complete Van Damme. One thing to note, I think most people will be interested, is whether the arms can be rotated all the way and whether the cape does get in the way. And the answer to that, well, you can see for yourself. It doesn't get in the way. Of course, it's draped just below the shoulder here, but it gets out of the way because you can see here it's all flappy and it can be pushed aside. So don't worry about that. He can extend his arm quite a bit. So all well and good. I think
it's nothing or something like Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, it's okay, I think, for what it's worth for Batman, and he stands pretty good. You know, I don't think he needs a stand. So that's always a good stuff in my book. In terms of the design of the costume itself, you have the gray and sort of black combo, which is always pretty good, and you have a little bit of detailing on the sides. For instance, we have this kind of textury look and feel that goes all the way to his what do you call that, lower abdomen area there. Doesn't all the way go all the way up to the what do you call it, the chest area for some reason. I don't know why.
There's a T-Rex in the back.
Yeah, you can see that. What is that? T-Rex. Oh yeah, that's Batman for you. Yeah, so and then nice yellow paint on the utility belt, which is yeah, it's okay, I suppose. It doesn't get out of the way because there is no okay, it doesn't get out of the way. It's just stuck to his pants, I suppose. So pretty good overall, I think. What do you think? It's all good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that I think his head could have been, the head sculpt could have been a bit more better. I don't know. It's not necessarily bad, but it's just so plain Jane. I like the white color of the eyes and whatnot, but the head sculpt is just very plain Jane. It doesn't do anything for me. The body proportion wise, I think muscle profile and all that is decent. I think there could have been a little bit more profile, let's say, on the thigh area and whatnot, but it's not bad. The proportion wise not bad. His stand is not bad. Everything is not bad except maybe the head is not bad. It's just that it's very plain Jane. Yeah. Anyway, and then if you stick the grapnel launcher to his hands, it's a tight fit.
I think you're supposed to put it on here.
Is it? I think it's like that, isn't it? Yeah. So there you go. But because it's tight, it stays nicely. It doesn't fall off. So that's pretty good.
Does it come out easily?
Yeah. It has the no. It doesn't, because obviously it's very, very tight, and it gives you that post. There you go. Where it does shoot. And he can even pose him with the Batarang, the most thickest Batarang that you can think of, and just
Why does it not fit?
Yes, it takes a little bit of fudging here and there, but once you get it onto his hands, I think that's never gonna come out because it's very, very thick. But yeah, once you put that in, like that, and then ready to shoot off his Batarang, I think that's pretty awesome. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go for that. Yeah, pretty good. So let's look at Deathstroke then.
Let's move on to Deathstroke.
So let's leave Mr. Batman there to the side, and let's open this man. Oops, sorry, all over the place. Now Deathstroke. Let's take him out of the box and see what he brings to the picture. As usual, the same usual gump. Let's take out artwork. I think it's pretty much the same as the Batman. The card itself, let's take it out. One thing notice is that you don't actually like destroy the box as such, but the moment you start peeling off these things, you can put them back, glue them back together, and it kind of feels like it does the job. But just to let you know, it's not going to be 15. I don't know, some of you might be pedantic about that. Stand, no point looking at that, it's the same thing. So let's put the box aside and see what we get from Deathstroke. Now Deathstroke itself comes with only the figure and the sword.
Yeah,
that's about as bare bones as this figure can get. Figure and sword, there you go, that's all. McFarlane says don't ask for anything else. And the sword itself isn't necessarily bad. It's a bit of a soft plastic, so the sword itself can bend out of shape, but the sword itself has a nice profile, nice sort of
the base, and the trading card is not accessories, it's just extra stuff.
Exactly. So in terms of accessory, is as bare bones as you can get. And but the sword is cool. It has a nice profile. I don't know why. Do you call this katana? Probably it is, I don't know, but it is cool. It has a very large what is this, hilt area here, and the blade itself is sort of painted in sort of like an actual blade color, sort of a metallic color to it. So yeah, I like the sword.
Yeah, I think it's a sword.
Yeah. Anyway, let's take out the ties. Let's put this figure in its place, and I think probably the reason why, good lord, he's nudged in quite a bit there. So let's take all this rubbish out. That's what you get when you unbox stuff. So right out of the back you have the sheet coming out, so let's just fix that because that will annoy me for the rest of the review.
Yes.
So sheet, go in. Come on, sheet.
Please?
Go in. There is a pack there is a hole, but it's not going anywhere. But let's look at the quality control. I love this sort of half, I don't know what blue is this, but it is kind of like a blue, metallic blue kind of thing. Yeah, navy blue with the copper half of the face sculpt, face mask, and then you have some like coppery texture. It's not really orange, it is coppery. I don't know, maybe my video doesn't do justice to it.
Real name is
No, so this is orange. Okay, his headband is orange, but all these other elements like in here and here is more coppery than it is orange. So I love this tactical suit. What do you think?
How come his costume is like dark blue and orange, and this thing is like light orange?
Exactly, because here it all supposed to be orange, but it's very coppery. But I think I dig it. I think I love it, and I love the sort of combat tactical suit of it all. It has like armor plating and whatnot, and he has the only problem to all of this is it's all stuck to the figure. It's not movable in any way. So don't. Yeah, exactly. We'll go to the profile later, but don't expect like a snake eye, movie thingy. It's all stuck. Even his shoulder pad. No, his shoulder pad maybe gets out of the way. Probably not. Anyway, let's look at the quality control just to give you like really close up as such. I dig this. I love the coloring. I love the little bit of like this gray scaly armor. The sides.
It looks perfect.
Perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now the thing about this kind of figures is that I think even if the figure is not perfect in any sense of the word, I think him just standing there would just be gorgeous. Don't you agree? Yeah. So let's look at the articulation for this figure. As you can see, his head doesn't go that much. In fact, that's kind of pathetic, I think. Yeah, it's probably the case because that sort of collar of his costume blocks that. Maybe there is a hinge that goes. Does it go? I don't want to push it that much. It's okay, I suppose. Yeah, looking down. Not much in the way, I suppose. Left, right, all around, fantastic.
Yay.
Stretchy. Let's look at the 180 degrees. Can he do that? He can. Forward. Yeah. Does he have a bicep swivel? No. That's surprising. No. Well, I suppose he. Yeah, he has. Okay, so.
Does he have butterfly wings?
Yes, I think. Or at least the cut seems to indicate that. It doesn't go all the way, but okay. Anyway, you can see here double jointed elbow that allows the bend
Way past
that much.
90.
How about inwards and outwards? Can you do the usual inwards and outwards?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes? No?
He can, I
Okay.
suppose. Only thing is, I think mine is stuck.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, inward, outward, that much. That's all you need to know.
Ab
Is they cut to the diaphragm? No.
There's no ab crunch?
In fact, it's only in the waist. Oh, that's a bit strange.
Is there no ab crunch?
Ooh, there is no up crunch. It's like when you bend, you're bending the whole plastic. That's kind of a.
This is the first McFarlane figure to
Well,
have
this
no
is the first figure I've seen. There is no cut,
and no ab crunch.
which is a shame. There is a profile that could have easily inserted a cut, but there is no upper cut, just a waist swivel. So, okay, I suppose Deathstroke doesn't need a. But he does stretch. Well, it has that springy effect, but he does stretch back by that much. So, I suppose it's okay.
Yeah.
What else? Maybe we are too forgiving, don't you think? Swivel of the thighs. There's no cut, but so the only swivel you're gonna get is actually pushing his entire leg outside. But that means you have some exposed part, which is never ideal. In terms of double jointed knee, it does offer a bend, but not all the way. I think that's acceptable, especially when your figure is a very heavily armored. What do you call a figure?
Unlike Batman.
Yeah, exactly. And there is no shin cut as such. Is the leg articulation? Now, the articulation is all over the place. You just have to bring it in the right position so that the hinge can work. His leg is not going to go all the way up because there is a protrusion here. It's not going to go all the way down either. There is a toe cut. Let's see. He is also known for his martial art, and it does quite a bit of kick. So that's whether he stands that way, I don't know, but he can kick. So we'll get into that. And does it go down? No. Okay. Anyway, and then there is a sort of backward kick by that much.
Does he split?
I think the more you play around the leg, you have a lot of exposed area. I don't like that. So
Does he have a split?
he should have the split. No. Come on. Okay. Well, that's as much. So he's not going to do the full Van Damme. So he's only going to do that much. So anyways, I suppose that is the only thing you can do, given for what it is. I think articulation wise, this guy is a lot poorer than Batman. I don't know whether that's because of his costume, but articulation wise, he's as well.
His design is good, but
His design is good, articulation is poor, and his sheath, my god, what the hell were they thinking? It is just like a half a sheath. I mean, this surely can't be a design. What do you call that decision? You can put in the sword, but the sword is exposed. So why even bother with the sheath? I mean, it's like, oh man. Anyway, it does have a hole where you can plug it in, which gives you this impression. But I don't know. I don't like the sword exposed like this. What do you think? I mean, what's the point of that sheath?
Kind of bad.
Yeah, it's like somebody just decided last minute, to save some cost, let's do half a sheet. I would like to meet the person who did this.
It's like they just cut out the other.
Yeah, they did a nice figure. Okay, granted, the articulation isn't all that great, but it is still a nice figure.
Good.
If ever you want to cut costs, why do you want to cut costs on this? I mean, you can't tell me that this is a design choice. Anyways. Other than that, he has the gun holster and all that. All this cool stuff. It's all well and good. It's just it's stuck to the body and the sides of the body and whatnot.
I wish the gun can actually come out.
Yeah, exactly. You have this pockets that doesn't really open anywhere. There is a nice tempting gun that just sits in the holster, but you can't really take it out. So I think what we will do is give him some guns from from different figures, Deadpool or whatever. Because I would love.
I have a Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. So I would love Deathstroke to hold like two guns right up in the air. I mean, the sword is good, but yeah. So I think this look for the sword would have been better, like the opposite, where the sword is not exposed. That would have been better. I mean, so you have the peg in the opposite side, so that when you look in front, he has that look as opposed to that look. Because this just looks like Deathstroke is on a budget. Yeah, Anyway, so
It's
let's.
not like other sword figures.
Maybe I'll throw away the sheet. I don't know what the hell were they thinking. Okay, the sheet. Let's put the gun itself into the hand. See whether it's as
I
easy.
think the sword is supposed to be on this hand.
Well, I'm a right-hander, so I suppose I always prefer. This is the right hand, right? Yeah, right hand. So there you go. Yeah, I the design of the sword wise in terms of holding into position, I like it. It's just that what the hell is this? Anyway, I don't want to rant about
I
it.
don't want that.
Right, you want to try to read his profile?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Deathstroke, Mr. Wade Wilson. It's Wade, right? Oh no, sorry, Slade.
Slade.
This is what you get when you get a copycat Deadpool. Anyway, that's the picture. Where did they get the inspiration from? From Batman, Arkham Origin video games way back in 2013. Slade Wilson, 6 feet 2 inches, 225 pounds, or 102 kilograms for us. What does it say? It says Slade Wilson was the army's top operative when he underwent experiments that turned him into a super soldier with enhanced strength, stamina, and regenerative powers. When he was dishonorably discharged, he became the world's deadliest mercenary, known as Deathstroke. A master of martial arts and an expert marksman, Deathstroke is a threat to even the most powerful superheroes. So he's a mercenary.
And he also knows martial arts.
Yes, of course. He's known for his martial arts. But for a figure that knows martial arts, this figure doesn't offer much articulation. So the irony of it all. Anyway, so let's do some posing together with Batman and see whether they fit in the sort of the same world. Or whether do I need to get the Batman Arkham Origin of the same.
For Batman, I will give it a 9 out of 10.
You wanna give the rating now? Let's leave it to the end. Okay? Okay, so now that we had a chance to play around with these figures, let's wrap up the video.
Okay.
In terms of what we think about the figure and whether it's worth people's money. Okay?
Okay.
So let's start off with Batman. Now this Batman, I think, by and large, is pretty good.
I will give him a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I can concur with that. Maybe not as high as 9 out of 10, but he wants to pose. His uniform is fantastic. Not uniform, what is his costume?
The suit.
Yeah, his posing ability is perfect. His colors, even the quality control, nothing breaks off. All well and good. I think there's nothing much to complain for this figure. The only sort of questionable decision, I think, when they produce this figure is the head. The head sculpt is small. I mean, comparatively, if you look at the, let's say, Deathstroke, you can see for some reason, I don't know whether the camera does any justice, but the head is smaller than Deathstroke. Now maybe if you pose him like at an angle or a bit further, you probably could give the impression of a perspective, and that could even out things. But for me, it shouldn't be the case. Where possible, the head sculpt probably could be swapped with something else. I've seen some guys doing the swap with the Batman, what was it, Mercenary or something like that, where the head sculpt did look pretty good. So I would go for that. But if not, pose him, at an angle or at a distance where the perspective doesn't annoy you in any way in terms of the head sculpt. I would have also preferred alternate hands, because I'm not sure why, but none of these McFarlane hands comes with any alternate hands as an option. It's always grippy hands, and that's all well and good if you want to grip something. But if you want to just pose him with just nice fisty hands, what are you gonna do? So
they could just
I think most superheroes should come with some fisty hands options. Don't you think? Yeah. A good pose for any figure, action figure, should have fisty hands. Yeah. Anyway, but that's in the grand scheme of things is just, I suppose, maybe nitpicking. So this one, fantastic, 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10, whichever way you look at it. Yeah, I'll give it that. This is good. The one that had the biggest problem is this one. The only thing that's going for this particular figure is his look. And the sword. Well, yeah, with the look with the sword, because I think design wise, no one can question what McFarlane is going for it, and McFarlane is one of those that just brings out the best in terms of design when the figure is like posed in this kind of stationary position or like a museum position. The problem comes when you want to articulate him and put in poses. Now you will see these poses in the next section of the video just before I conclude, but one thing to note, I did break off one element of the figure.
Really?
This shoulder pad here while doing some articulation actually came off, and it's not like it was a peg or anything. It actually came off. I had to glue that in. Now, if you have to glue things in for a new figure, maybe I was a bit harsh and all that, but that just puts off you playing with this kind of figures. So after that, I was cautious, and then there was no like interest in playing with this, unlike the Batman. So I would stay cautious. Remember, guys, if you move the arms too much, this shoulder pad thingy does come out completely. So it's not like a peg or anything. You have to actually glue that in. I had to use super glue. So
I'll give Deathstroke a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. I don't know. I might give it much lower. Maybe 6 out of 10. Just because I like how it looks. I think if you put it, in your display, it looks sick, no doubt. Because how can you go wrong with this kind of look? It's just that I don't think he's meant to be played as much. He's there to be more like a Spawn figure. You just put it there, looks good, then leave him alone. So for that, maybe 6 out of 10, because the articulation is poor. All these additional accessories, but there's hardly any accessories, and it just doesn't do anything. So you can't really pull the gun from the holster. You can't shift any of this. So why even bother with anything other than just putting him in this pose and making sure that
I gave him a 7 out of 10 because I do not know what sword thing did he come from. He has 4 articulation, and this gun can't even go out.
Exactly. So pretty much the same reason, but I think you like the design just like I do. So that's the only thing that's going for it. Now, would I recommend you getting it? I think until they come with a comic accurate, let's say, Deathstroke, which I don't know whether McFarlane ever will, because the problem with McFarlane toys is that we never get any indication, unlike the Marvel Legends where they have a definite plan of who they want to introduce in terms of buying. McFarlane, you just buy whatever he puts out, so I really don't know. So until an comic accurate Deathstroke comes into play, I guess you'll be stuck with this, which is not a bad thing. Could these two exist in the same sort of universe? I could see that. The only, I can make an argument for the fact that maybe Deathstroke needs to be a bit more armored, because he doesn't have the means or resources like with cool gadgetry and all like Batman, because he's not a millionaire as such. So he would probably have to be, just filled with armor plating and all that. So for that, this look works. So these two, I think it is possible to consider them in the same universe. But if a comic accurate comes, a Deathstroke comes that complement this Batman, perhaps you want to go for that. But if not, just if you are someone who's just collecting figures, like standalone figures, like let's say, I don't know, there was a Wonder Woman with the chainsaw, the Superman Red Sun and all that, this guy can fit in perfectly in that universe. So
maybe McFarlane can make a better Deathstroke.
Yeah, possibly. That's why I said, like a comic accurate Deathstroke.
That has good articulation.
I'm kind of giving up on articulation, but what I'm saying is to have the sort of look that goes into the comic world, as opposed to because this is from a game, not really from a comic. Yeah. Anyway, stop shaking. And with that, I think we should conclude. I think we have rant enough about these figures. Okay, so as always, guys, I'll finish off the video as it is. And if you like what you saw today, please feel free to click the like and subscribe button. And we shall see you.
Follow Daddy on Insta.
Yes, well, I need to sort out some problems with the Insta. But other than that, I shall see you when I see you in the next review for the toys that we bought in the new year. So till then, adios, guys, and stay safe.
Here we go, making really getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy, we look sexy. Here we go, making really getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy.